Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about the role of teachers in contemporary educational context. What is the leadership teacher? The leadership teacher is someone who has a vision of greatness in his students so that each one achieves his goals. The leader leads everyone to mature their personal development and doesn't impede the vision of the students. Rather, invites each one to flourish their vision. What does a leader need? Having a vision is an idea of education, reality, and how people relate to each other. A leader needs the ability to communicate that vision. Just as it's true that there are people who have a vision of what they want, but don't have the ability to transmit it, so they remain in their own mind, and perhaps this can produce something of frustration. And why moral? Because if we are able to communicate and have a vision, but we don't give an example of what we are training to transmit, nobody will take us into account. To be a leader, there are conditions that we must take into account. As a leader, you must create an environment, accept reality, accept strengths and weakness, and not pretend things like we would like them to be. The next condition is appreciation, loving students the way they are. Another point is the confidence. It not only makes you believe that everything is possible, but it also changes the reality of what seemed impossible. Furthermore, a leader must have the students develop her own competence to allow her to make mistakes, because in the future they will learn from it. And as a final point, the contribution. The contribution action is to allow them to exercise their rights as a leader. Contribution in class in helping their peers. This will allow their value as a great leader to propose.
How it works. Passive, reflexive, and constructive agency. The way a teacher acts or works can be described as how to implement the pedagogical functions of each teacher, taking into account the results. Teachers have the freedom to be thoughtful, positive, and confident. Positive agency. This level suggests the teachers suffer from learned helplessness because they underestimate their abilities to make a hegemonic difference to society. They ignore your needs and interests as professionals. Teachers are not recognized as good professionals and don't give them a good monetization by causing them to lose motivation to teach. Reflexive agency. At this level, teachers occupy their place by assimilation and adaptation. The masters have the power to act by reflecting the context and environment in which they are equal. They can act on their own positions and present their reforms to the social cultural structure. These teachers are practical and the results can be presented by psychological manifestations. Constructive agency. This level is connected with the creative and innovative skills that each teacher proposes to improve teaching. The materials demonstrate that he has the ability to exceed the expectations of his rules. This type of teacher generates new ideas and are the motivation for their students. Critical agency. The critical agency is divided in two, positive and negative directions. In the positive direction, teachers can resist the structure of power embedded in their social context. In the negative direction, they practice all process while opposing the educational reforms carried out by other supporters. Thank you.
to talk about the interlocution. The teacher endeavors to eliminate the doubts of the students about their role in the day. In this case, the teacher is the mediator for which he can eliminate doubts and any other type of the inconvenience that the students may have, since my teacher acts as an interlocutor who acts one of his functions, which is to share his knowledge with others. Also, I think the teacher is there to explain and clarify things that involve education in debates where we can dialogue of one student with the other, and the which teacher clarifies all questions that it's a mediator. Communication. This idea is also related to dialogue, since the teacher is this causes is creative, innovative, and effective in explaining and making his or her own subject understood, in which case the student responds with enthusiasm and confidence, the ability to go beyond expectations perceptive of their roles. Communication is related to communication. It is left to your student how to make their understand more and the interlocutor in the role in the teacher. In this case, the students can a question for the teacher, and the teacher answer the form for the students. Thank you.
Experience. Teaching experience is also more important than the theoretical knowledge of the subject and the pedagogical tools. Theoretical teachers. What is? They may know a lot theoretical, but at the time of teaching, they can do so as their experience is nil and doesn't know how to teach. In the past, the first teacher liked pedagogical training. Their knowledge came exclusively from their daily teaching experience. It can be said that at its origin, neither teacher nor high school teacher were affected in any way by a statement between theory and practice. Nowadays, today's teaching is based only on the theoretical and not on the practical. This has led to a larger number of teachers not understand how to teach and not having control over the class, because that way a teacher has the theory of how to treat a student and doesn't know how to use the feeling as a good teacher. Teaching didactics. It is the pedagogical part that seeks which are the most appropriate and effective methods to transmit knowledge and simulate the students to acquire it. This is carried through the experience you have working as you can note with which teaching methodology students best. Having experience is a positive as we can do a self-assessment as a person and as a teacher see that we are failing and improve it.
Teacher reputation. Teachers, I believe, are the most responsible and important members of society because their professional efforts affect the fate of the earth. Helen Caldicott. Important aspects of teaching profession. First of all, teachers played an important role in the society. This profession, compared with other professions, is declining. The reputation of teacher varies depending on the countries. For example, in some countries such as Scotland, Ireland, Sweden, and Finland, this profession enjoys good social status. Also, in our country, this profession is considered poorly paid. Teacher, the most important profession. Teaching is hope for better, more successful futures. Teacher is a very important profession because it allows the flourish of our society by getting students in their lives. Also, in the dictionary, we can see that teacher means a person who teaches as a profession. But a teacher is more than this definition. A teacher inspires you, a teacher motivates you, and also a teacher loves and cares you. There are some calls about the decline of teacher status. For example, the reduction of public funds for education, a neglect of promotion of teacher status, a reduction perception about value of education nowadays, and poor communication with the government. In order to improve the prestige of this profession, there are some aspects that the government must cover. For example, the development of teacher education programs, significant financial support for teacher education, and reasonable and fair salaries and stimulating working services.
Good teacher. There are two main characteristics to be a good teacher. Respect for students. The teacher must respect his students, respect their different ideologies and ways of things. A teacher educates training of his students transmits of values. Because every student is a different world, and if the teacher demands respect, they must also give. Teacher training. A good teacher should be professionally prepared to teach a class, create a good class plan. A good teacher will know that the teacher has to be responsible, patient, with the enthusiasm for his work, with interested in continue to spend the training with a concern to motivate his students, always looking for the best for them and their future. Being a good teacher not only means using a good methodology and good book, but a constantly reflection on your own teacher experience.